The following program is sponsored by John Chachis Insurance, your local farmers insurance agent located 800 Avenue G in Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board meeting, September 24th, 2019.
Session.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing that
As long
out.
as no action's taken, it's not, right now, we don't have a meeting, so you can kind of, maybe talk about things if you wanted to talk about things.
Right.
So, yeah, we can't obviously do any of the paying bills and that kind of thing,
On a mural I threw out to Caroline, we don't have one around here, the Lincoln Highway.
Cool, and that is exactly what I'm wanting out of that, is throwing out ideas of like, we'd like something to represent the Lincoln Highway, or I know of a wall in an area that needs something, and then what we're gonna try to do is bring it together and connect the dots. Well, in the meantime, enjoy our lovely slideshow. Well, and the nice thing is, and this was the whole point, was normally we'd have to have the projector stand, and we'd have to bring the screen down and everything like that. But now with the smart TV and Google Chrome, it just connects automatically. So anybody who comes in with a laptop with Google Chrome can screencast right up to the smart TV, no wires. Yeah, I can do it from here, I can walk over back there, I can do whatever, and it's, it works out nice.
Means we can't pay the bills until next month.
well, we can,
Do an
you can
emergency.
schedule a special meeting with 3 days' notice.
Right. Hate to see these bills not get paid.
Yeah.
I would too. We've done so good.
Yeah, I don't like that. Ryan was gonna call in.
I know, I just texted him
Why
again.
don't you text him? Yeah, he may not think he needs to, cause the other two might be here,
Just call me when Ian gets in.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Still no word from Brian.
No. No. And I talked to him when he was here for the Italian train, so he knew that he was supposed to be calling in. So. Let's go ahead and just, Marietta, if you could hit the big button with the phone on it.
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you. Is Judy coming today?
No, she's in Wisconsin, but she prepped me on how to record
Okay,
everything.
no problem then, okay, good deal.
Apparently it's a good month to get out of town.
Just seen last Friday, I needed a notary. Both of our notaries were out on Friday, and both of the judges' notaries were out. So I went down to the city, their notary was out, and I went, just on a lark, I went down to the county admin building and see if there was a notary down there. They didn't have one.
How about the banks?
So that's what ended up, Jennifer Farnsworth ended up taking me to her bank, and they notarized me. My wife's a notary, she couldn't notarize me, but I could have changed the name and had my
Right.
deputy, but she was out of town.
Everybody's
It was ridiculous. I spent probably an hour looking for a notary.
Do you have more notaries at the county than that, or
We have 4 total,
do they?
yeah.
Last week.
I don't know.
They made it into town though, all right, and
They came in, and went to dinner, and left for the day, so.
yeah. Well, I knew they were going to the Renaissance Village.
And the military convoy.
It was kind of a crazy week for cars.
Yeah.
Neely had military convoy, car race, Lincoln Highway convoy. Then I even saw a couple of the race cars still in town on like Tuesday. They were still driving through with like
Still there?
with their numbers still on their car and everything like that. So like these guys stuck around.
How much longer we got? Yes,
Yeah, like that one's not mine. That color's all blown out. And
So what do you just dial the number and that's it?
you want to hit a 1
And then, oh,
and then the area code.
that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're better off waiting.
Yep.
How much, we've gotta get this done.
Too bad you didn't have a sign up to show them the way.
Wayfinding sign.
We did order a sandwich board though, for the front of the convention center, when so people drive by, you know, they know that we're open. And
Oh, nice.
you get so many people that walk in and they're like so apprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a visitor center?
Rough crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
What's that?
Rough crowd.
Right? So we just need to find somebody with really good handwriting and can do those like artistic, because we got the chalk markers for it and stuff like that, so.
I know somebody.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you about it.
okay, cool. All right.
All right, here it is.
All right, let's make that phone call.
Okay.
Los Angeles traffic.
Welcome back, how was Anaheim?
Glad to be back.
Are you happy to be home?
I love you tonight.
Hello?
Hello, Caroline, we're getting ready to start the meeting.
Oh, wonderful. Do I need to be on the call, or do I need to be on the conference call, or can we do it from here?
No, you're good. We're ready to go.
You're good.
Tuesday, September 24th, 2019, and the time is 4:30. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with public comment.
You're up.
You're up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at those big brown eyes, I wasn't sure what kind of message was coming across. Madam Chairman, the money, $4,300 that was given to the community choir for pigeon control needs to come back to this board. NRS forbids you from supporting a private business. I've told you that before. That building is not a public building. They do not meet the minimum ADA requirements for the handicap. They've stated they have a 501c status. Again, where's the proof? What is the date it was granted? I see by your minutes of June 25th, 2019, that you granted another $13,000. That also needs to come back. I feel for them as well as others in this community that are struggling. They need to go to a different source for funding, as others have. They do not qualify in any way, shape, or form. They're a private club. If you go to the front of their building, they have a sign that states, private property, no trespassing, no soliciting, no loitering. Public buildings don't have that. You can't have it both ways. Madam Chairman, in the past I've asked, I'm asking again of the Airbnbs identified to date, how many have paid room tax and what was the amount? Madam Chairman, as this board sent out letters to the owners of the Airbnbs, notifying them of the proper licensing needed. If so, I would like a copy of those letters sent out. Months ago, I asked former Councilwoman Jolene Gardner if she addressed proper licensing with the city. I did not receive anything to that effect. Did she provide this board with any information, such as those that may have requested a zone change, variance, home occupation, state business license, county license, the city business license, and or room tax license? No information to date. We're going on months now. Open meeting law says 5 days, not 5 years. In attending Ely City Planning Commission meetings, Ely City Council, White Pine County Commission meetings, I have not seen any applications anywhere. This board's concern is that these lawbreakers are renting by the day or week, and not a dime is being collected for room tax. Have you issued a room tax to any of them? If so, I would like a copy of your listed Airbnbs and what they've paid. Fine, we're working on a policy, but those people are working a commercial enterprise in a residential zone unless they've applied for any of these others, and I've yet to see any of that. Madam Chairman, in talking to a member of this board yesterday, I was told that 2 Airbnbs located in the city of Ely had a business license, according to Julie Spear from Ely City Hall. I asked for the names of those licensed, but no information was given. I told that person I would ask that question at the next Turner Rec Board meeting. That being said, who is licensed? Or do I still wait for information?
Can I respond to that? Or is it just, or are we just taking in public comment?
You can respond to that. Yeah.
Okay, we mentioned it last meeting when I was speaking with you yesterday. We can't make policies, the city and the county have to
You
make
were one of
policies.
2.
What's up?
You were one of 2 that I talked to. Did you
Mhm.
talk to Julie Spear?
No, but I just know the reason we're going at it the way we are, we're giving our recommendation to the
I
city and county.
understand all of that. I'm
So
just
if-
talking about the ones in business now.
Yeah, no Airbnb has given any remittance of room tax to date.
Have you notified the sheriff's office, the
Well,
district attorney?
there is no county or city ordinances requiring room tax for Airbnb as of yet.
That's fine.
But we're
The
working on it.
concern is they're conducting a commercial enterprise in a residential zone. If they're not, then they have to fall under the other guidelines. If they're in a commercial zone, business license, state license, county license, so on and so forth. But I'm getting zero answers on any of that.
I think we agree with you, and that's why we're working towards having ordinances.
Did I tell you I'm aging fast?
We all are, George.
I am. Madam Chairman, have not received any information in regards to Mr. Spear, who is a contractor with the Tour and Rec Board. In the past, I've asked, does he have a state business license, city license, commercial location, or a home occupation? Madam Chairman, the Nevada Northern Railroad is continuing to get additional grant money from this board in addition to $240,000 it receives from room tax. They are not operating under the Nevada open meeting law, and the citizen, the taxpayer, cannot see how these monies are spent. Again, they need to be cut off and be held accountable. You have a responsibility to account for the monies that are granted from this board. You're not getting that. I remind you, Mr. Bassett manages and his wife is the bookkeeper. There must not be any nepotism. At the last city council meeting held on September 19, 2019, the railroad was seeking to borrow approximately $450,000. For what? They have yet to report what the total debt is. Does any of this board know? Prior to that, they borrowed $200,000. After that, they got permission to borrow $500,000. We gotta put a stop to this. We need to know where the money is being spent. And if you don't know where the money's spent, you have an obligation to the taxpayer for accountability. Shut them off until they get under the open meeting law, and we can get some of these answers. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Anyone else for public comment?
Yeah, pave my street. I'm serious.
Item one,
Doesn't fall
discussion.
in our jurisdiction.
Item one, discussion and for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. Do we need to change anything around? Okay. Do we have to make a motion on that?
I'll move to approve it.
Do I have a second?
Caroline, do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Okay, item two, discussion and for possible action, approval of minutes of August 27th, 2019, 4 PM regular meeting.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Item three, discussion, review of the financial report.
Okay, so let's start first with our room tax report right here. You're gonna notice some of the things that you'll notice is we got 2 new properties that are on there. So the Big 4 Ranch, which was decommissioned as one of our brothels, now into a 4-room motel experience. They went ahead and paid their first room tax of the season, and then also the Holiday Inn Express is in there as well, that paid their room tax. The 2 things that are in red reflect money that was collected from last month, but the one at the top here was a penalty for mispaying. So that essentially it was earned last month, but it's going in this month's report. And then the one at the bottom was a bounced check that occurred that was paid immediately. So we got the check, so it's just again showing that, it flip-flopped. So, August looked really good. If you go to the next one with the room tax comparisons, even with the 2 red numbers in there that should have gone from the last month, we were still up a little bit from this time last year. And then if you go to, that's the actuals. Even though we're putting in the 8-year comparison here with the 0.8%, again, that's not our actuals. So I'm gonna, look at removing this form from future reports and just go with our actuals. So pretty much that shows that we were up 3% from this time last year. If you go to the budget, year to date, pretty much what it shows, And again, I'll remind you guys that this time last year, we were also operating at a deficit. And usually what happens at the beginning of the fiscal year is everybody puts in for the grant reimbursement. And then once the earnings kind of catch up about 3 months into it, then we start seeing a surplus, an operating surplus. I did check our comparisons to this time last year, and our operating deficit compared to last year is significantly lower by about $20,000. So we are doing better in the beginning of the year, but essentially our total income to date is $390,861.28. That also includes the governmental total of just over $7,000. And so if you were to take the total, the total income from the top and your expenses at the bottom right there, you'll see where that $26,648.45 comes into play. And then looking at some individual lines, we're pretty much on par. Anything that is close to being 100% are usually annual dues that we pay all up at once. So that would be our insurances and our dues and things like that. So nothing really out of the ordinary. Like I said, compared to last year, we're actually doing a lot better with that. So next year you'll see an operating surplus. So, and that's all with the financial report. Is there any questions? All right.
Okay, item number 4, discussion and for possible action to ratify bills.
And just because of the state of the board right now, we'll have to pay the Bath Lumber bill next month.
Oh,
Just
okay.
ratify the bills minus Bath Lumber.
Okay. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll move to approve the bills minus the Bath Lumber.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Okay, we'll go ahead and pay that.
All right.
Item number 6, discussion and for possible action, approval to co-sponsor the White Pine Ministerial Community Christmas Dinner, Pastor Bob Winder.
I may need to abstain from this because I'm a member of that group.
The nice thing is, now, James, the board did say last year, so really we don't have to approve anything, right?
This has already been approved.
It's already been approved last
Then you
year,
don't
so
have
this
to
is just
approve.
more of a just
Informational.
informational.
Okay.
I would feel better coming forward.
And we love seeing you every time, so.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Caroline.
Bob says hi, Caroline.
Hi there, Bob.
Anyway, I want to ask permission to be able to use the facility for that Christmas Day dinner. And I know in the past, and Megan showed me this last year, that she actually has a layout of how things need to be set up. I hope it was kept.
It was,
Okay.
absolutely.
Anyway, I'm asking for permission to use that, the facility. But I'm told I'm good, but I still like to do this.
Right on, right on.
Very nice.
So I would say when you leave, check in with Nicole, and so Nicole's our new sales and events manager. She's taken the position that Meg was in. And she pretty much can pull the file and get everything set up and put it on the calendar and everything like that. So she knows exactly what to do. Just let her know that pull the file from the past events, and that's what we're gonna work off of, and you're good to go.
Okay. Which includes, we probably have to come in a day or two earlier and bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So yep, just let Nicole know what's going on, and she'll take the bull by the horns and make sure you're all set up.
Thank you. Item number 7, discussion and for possible action to reevaluate hours needed for head maintenance position with economic impact upgrade to position.
So that one was put on by me. We're realizing that our head maintenance guy is working more than the 20-hour minimum. In addition to working more than the 20-hour minimum, he's really stepped up and taken charge of the facility. He was the one who, did the woodworking and the construction over here. He's come in on like a pretty big emergency when Silver State Classic was in here. We had somebody aggressively flush our toilet, and next thing we knew, we were ankle deep in water as it was pouring into the carpet. He was here in 15 minutes and stopped the flooding. So what I've asked of our HR representative, Tim, he said we can go up to 30 hours and offer what's the county considers as a part-time benefits package. So the economic impact or the impact to us would be, instead of the board paying what they would pay for a full-time employee, they pay 50% of the medical package, and then the employee pays the other 50%. And so I'm still waiting back for the hard numbers on that one, but we're, you know, you got two choices. It's, you know, hook up the person that's been doing good for you and invest in your employees and make sure that they're happy and you stick them around, or we try to bring in and train more part-time staff, you know, to kind of fill in those gaps. Sorry we made you wait.
It's okay, I just have to go and drop someone off.
Right on, right on. So I would, my preference would be that we, you know, increase the position to a 30-hour part-time and offer the partial 50% benefits package, which would just be a medical. It wouldn't include like a VOYA or a PERS or anything like that. It would just be the medical. So with that said, because we've worked on with such a lean staff for the last year, and because my salary is significantly lower than the past director's salary, we do have quite a bit of money in the employee benefits and salaries package, that it would not have a negative impact on our current budget.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I wasn't sure if I heard this correctly. So the package would include, the offering of health insurance, and we pay half of it. But this would kick him into PERS, the retirement too, correct?
That's not what Tim told me, is that it would just be that, you know, once you could offer that, but it's not required by law at the 30-hour part-time position.
I would like clarification from Pool Pack on that, because I think I understood differently, but things could have changed.
Okay, and we don't have to make a move to approve it or not. I wanted the opportunity to let the board know that I was thinking about this and take any advice and recommendation from the board on how to proceed. So I'll certainly, I'm still waiting for Tim to get back on me with a question, but I can reach out to Pool Pack as well and get that information for you, Caroline.
Okay, thank you, and I'm certainly not opposed to having our employees participate in PERS. I think that's only the prudent thing to do, so.
Okay.
I think it's a really necessary next step. We're in a really good upswing right now, and a good way to kill that kind of growth is to try and cut corners and
Right.
to limp along. And the more that we can provide excellence here in our facilities and the people that are renting, and as long as we've got the affordability, I don't see a problem with it. So.
Cool.
can we table this?
Yeah, that's an option. You could table it for next month, pending the numbers and the answer on the PERS. Or you could pass it, increasing it to 30 hours. If you were to offer the PERS, then you could pass it with the PERS and then the 50% insurance. If you were going to pass it without the PERS, then that would be dependent on the answer from Pool Pack. So it might be best just to table it, get the numbers, and
I
then
think have it right.
we'll have everything together next month.
Okay.
That'd be a good idea.
Let's do
May I
that.
have a
I'll
motion?
move to table this till our next meeting.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye?
Madam Chairman, the discussion point is, I don't see this as an agenda item we need to approve or disapprove, because our employee is Kyle, and his job is to manage it as he sees fit. I see this as him informing us.
Well, and I agree with your position on that one, Caroline, is, you know, for the employees that work underneath of me, you know, I guess it is my decision. I appreciate you guys entrusting me with that. I wouldn't make a decision that potentially would have an impact without, you know, coming to you guys, letting you know, and asking for any advice on how to proceed with that, so.
I'm looking at the item. It says the possible action is to reevaluate hours needed for the head maintenance position with economic impact, upgrade to the position. That's what we're even discussing, so we actually could just approve that.
Mhm.
Could we not?
You could.
Madam Chair, that would be my proposal too. I concur with Ian on this, that this is really the purview of our executive director, and he's nice enough to inform us, but I certainly, for one, would like to support this, knowing the amount of work.
So in that case, what one of you could do is make a motion to approve Kyle to make an appropriate adjustment as he sees fit to the maintenance position.
Okay. I'll amend my motion, to give our director the ability to adjust the hours,
And benefits.
and benefits of our maintenance guy as he sees fit.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Good. Item 8, discussion and for possible action, choosing of a location and theme for new mural to be painted in Ely in October.
Okay, so again, I want to recognize and I want to thank the board for allowing a new line item to go on this year's budget for public art. And so the theory behind that is that we've got great assets with our murals. There's over 30 murals, that some of which are, approaching 20 years old. We need to have money to refurbish them, but then we also need to continue to expand our public art, considering the cultural tourism is a significant reason that people travel, particularly into Nevada. And public art is a way for communities to express who they are, where they've come from, and where they're going. So I wanted to open this conversation up because we've spent money supporting the refurbishing of 2 of the murals already this year, and that would be the United by Our Children and the 4th of July mural on the museum. We do have money left over, and I'd like to go ahead and kind of continue at like a 2 or 3 to 1 ratio, where we're refurbishing 2 to 3 murals a year and expanding our assets by 1 new public art piece a year. And I think that's possible, to go ahead and do that with the money that's been dedicated. So as opposed to force feeding a new piece to the community, I wanted to put it on the agenda item to open it up to community members to throw out ideas of walls or properties that could support a mural or possibly a sculpture, what themes people would be excited about. Because this I see this as being, a 5-year growth plan minimum, where, we're continuing to do this year after year. So it doesn't particularly have to be just in the downtown. It could be, on 11th Avenue going down to the railroad. It could be in a blighted neighborhood or on a building that's defunct. And it certainly doesn't have to just be in Ely either. McGill could benefit from some public art and some murals to bring, speak to that community. Baker, of course, is a very artistic community and could benefit from that as well as the corridor into the national park. I'll even throw Ruth out there too, in Lund. If there's opportunities that are out there, I want to hear it from the community, because public art is more, it's from the community and it's about the community. It's not just one person or one idea pushing this. So far, what we've got for potential walls, we've got the convention center, the side of the convention center on the alley here between Economy Drug. We've got the old Debbie's Furniture building across the street. We've got 448 Altman, which currently has the Cattle Drive mural on it that needs some help. We've got the wall of the old elementary school at the end of 6th Street here. That's kind of visual when people are coming into the convention center. And then there's a building next to the State Farm building on 11th, heading down to the train yard. That's a white building that's pretty visible as well. Some of the themes that have been thrown out so far have been Lincoln Highway, something outdoor recreation based, something with the idea of passing the torch, and how the artist would relay that theme of essentially writing the next chapter. Something dealing with our wildlife, or something representing Great Basin's flora and fauna. And usually, when you're working with these mural artists, if you're not just giving them carte blanche to go do whatever they want to do, you kind of give them a loosely formulated theme, and then you let their artistic interpretation of it kind of come out, and that's how you end up getting an original piece.
Yeah.
So I think this is the time to go ahead and open it up to see if anybody's got, good ideas of where we could put some public art. And again, it could be mural, it could be sculpture, it could even be performance, you know, but if it's in a public space where it's viewed, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Are we able to put this out, on the tourism, social media?
You know, we put it out here, but I was going to go ahead and post, I was gonna post it on our page, and I was gonna post it on the Main Street Committee's page too, in hopes that it could be like shared out. But just being like, hey, what's your ideas for public art, you know?
Yeah, we can get it out on White Pine Living probably, and make sure
Cool,
people, but that's
cool.
where everybody seems to like to interact and.
I was hoping to entice more people to show up today, you know, but.
I was gonna suggest, I don't wanna hurt anyone's feelings, I'm gonna really be really gentle about this, but when we're looking at artists, whatever it's going to be, I would love to see us maybe get some samples, get some kind of, expert opinion from other artists on how good they are. I just remember from the outside looking in when I first moved here and had some people come up and visit, and a lot of our murals were the butt of a lot of jokes here, a lot of the existing murals. It wasn't seen as a beautiful thing, it wasn't seen as a cool thing. It was like kind of mocked, a lot of the murals we have, and so I'd love to make sure that whatever we put out is really quality, really good stuff. Which is hard to say, I mean, art is sort of subjective, but anyway, and I've got a lot of artistic friends, and some of those were the ones that were just like looking at some of the stuff we had and not impressed, so.
So Madam Chairman, can I just respond to that?
Sure.
Ian, you're new, and the murals that have been put in, most of the early ones were several $100,000 was a worldwide draw. People had to present maquettes, and they actually, it was not just picking an artist, it was, it started with a theme, and there were several artists that responded, and a whole group went through that. So I harken back to what Kyle says, it's art is you either love it or you hate it, but it's art, and you know, I think it gives us a great opportunity, but I don't think we can assume that artists weren't, and world-renowned artists weren't consulted and employed on this. It was a lot of money, but you just have a different style, and as we all can, which is great, and that's the nice thing about art. Perhaps they mock it because they weren't selected or they didn't do it, but you know, I always take that with a grain of salt, but just remembering the process of this, and I was not involved in the maquette, but there was quite a heavy art group that was, and so just probably it's better to understand what the real process was on that. It wasn't just selecting an artist and saying throw something up. There's certainly murals that I really love, and there's certainly murals that it's like, that doesn't do anything for me either. But that's back to what Kyle says about, you know, one way or the other. The comment I would like to make is, I think that I would like to see us look at where we are now as a community and where we're going. It should be the fresh approach to what we have. And, you know, I look at some big canvases, and for instance, the bowling alley maybe it's where the high traffic is on Altman, and where it comes around from 93 and goes out on that highway, and 6 funnels into that. Is like, that is a huge canvas, and that might be something that we could really focus on where we are as a community, because we have developed ourselves as a mountain town, and outdoor recreation is really going to be one of our anchors. We have great assets with the Great Basin National Park, the dark skies, the railroad. Those are great assets, and also weaving in where we have with the mountain town aspect. And part of, I don't believe you were on the email as far as Downeyville, and maybe Kyle could share that with our Tourism and Recreation Board, but it encapsulated really what town similar to ours, but we're in much better economic position, but what they did and how they did it, and that's for the younger generation and generations to come, and that's what I would like to see us to focus on, is who we are and who we're becoming.
So would it, would it benefit, and I know the answer to this, would it please the board to put out on social media the desire to kind of come up with like an art kind of work group or a task force, so to speak, where it would be, you know, representatives from the art community, the school district, you know, and kind of flush these ideas out. How engaged with the community do you guys think we should go here in the next couple weeks? Or you know, because I guess my apprehension would be that we do something like this and we don't engage the community the proper amount, and then it kind of falls on deaf ears, or you don't get that kind of emotional connection, because the emotional connection comes from flushing out the idea, you know, of engaging the community. And I worry that, you know, a community that's about to jump into a mural festival is going to be putting out all these amazing abstract pieces from world-renowned artists, and the community is going to go downtown and be like, what the heck is this? This doesn't speak to us too much. So I think there's a fine line that we walk of like blowing people's minds or turning people completely off, and I think that comes from community engagement. So
I would concur totally on that, and maybe just an all call that we could put it out on social media, those interested in participating. This would be the time, the meeting and the time, and we have an agenda on it, and it's open for everyone to voice their opinion. But again, we need to have some ideas, because that would be, you know, to give some ideas or samples for consideration.
So
I really agree.
What I'll do is I will come up with a couple different options for dates for a community art public meeting. We'll do it here at the convention center. It will not be a tour and rec meeting per se. It'll be a public meeting that everybody will be invited to, and we'll go ahead and we'll listen to the community and make our decision from there.
Well, I think that's guidance, Kyle. That's
Yeah.
what we're looking at. It's not a democracy, it's not, those are for consideration. And
Right.
Because harking back from 20 years ago, there was a very robust committee that did all of this. And so what we liked yesterday, you know, obviously gets made fun of along the way later on, because our tastes change and our culture changes. But, you know, that was exactly how it was done at that time.
Okay.
So obviously, there wasn't social media to draw people together. They had quite, you know, there's a lot of artistic people that joined this group. So anyway, it just is, it definitely is the way to go if we want to hear what people think.
Okay. So let me do that. I'll go ahead and I'll send out a couple dates first to the board to consider, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put it out publicly, and we'll make, you know, Facebook event, calendar, and everything like that.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Sorry,
Okay. All right, item number 9, discussion only, executive director's report.
All right, so I apologize for cutting this relatively quick, but I do need to get my daughter from Boys and Girls Club. Our social media is still continuing to grow. It's growing at about the same pace as it did all summer long. While we were peaking, we're going into the end of the season. So a lot of the stuff on social media that we're going to be seeing from our advertising, the messaging is going to change because we're going into the winter. We no longer have to boast it's cooler up here. You know, pretty soon it's going to be, it's like it's freaking cold up here. You know, so that'll change a little bit, the images that we're using and stuff like that. But essentially, we're up to 2,463 followers. That's another 100 than last month. Instagram, we're up 1,303, so that's 130 followers. And I don't know if you guys were following, but we did our first takeover on Instagram where we had Horsten Graben from Great Basin National Heritage Area, who's got a pretty strong following. They came in, they took over our Instagram for a week, and they pushed stuff out about Mount Moriah wilderness area and stuff like that. It was very well received. So that was a good project right there with an influencer. Twitter and YouTube are about staying the same. You know, I've got Errol slowly working stuff onto Twitter, so we'll see that improve. And then YouTube, when these videos come out that, you know, we've been waiting for a couple months now, those will go back up there. Our targeted digital campaigns, again, all of those are doing well, but they're waning. you know, we're coming to the end of the season, so again, the same thing, all the messaging on all our targeted digital, the pictures are gonna change, the hashtags are gonna change, all of that stuff. But they are still performing above average, so, that's looking good. Our website, bounce rate has gone down, which is good, meaning more people are spending time on the website, but we actually had less sessions than the month before, and I'm gonna go ahead and accredit that to the fact that our writer moved. We haven't put out a story this last month. We were doing stories all summer long, and that's what was driving people back to the website. So we really do need to find a local writer to continue to do that storytelling campaign that we've been doing. I want to mention that our calendar that is in this position right up there, not the featured events, but the calendar, it is filling up. So our mission of creating the community calendar is happening. Come on. So you can kind of see what the calendar looks like. If you've got multiple events, you know, you can go down and pull up all 5. But it goes through, and it's tourism related events. But if you get into October, you see it has a lot of the community events, the conferences, things like that. So this was all stuff that was requested by the board. What conferences are happening, pretty much everything going on in the community. So, you know, I'll throw this out here that, you know, now that we have a full staff, this is the time when the people in the community really should be sending us information on choir, this, that, the other thing, because it's all fair game of what's going up there. So I'm really excited that, you know, that's finally happening. And then we've had a couple people that we've advertised with move up to the top of the referral list, like Cycle Utah was doing a lot of advertising for Race the Rails. And somehow the Jailhouse made it into the top 10, so we're getting a lot of referrals from the Jailhouse website as well. But browser searches remain number 1, and Nevada Northern Railway website remains number 2 referral. With the print pieces, I hope everybody got their seasonal postcard mailer in the mail. That would have been a 6x8 card that's got the events and things like that on it. So we're working on the winter mailer right now. That postcard was turned into a seasonal ad for Nevada Magazine. We did start working on the facilities guide that we were promising, so we should have a layout and stuff like that. We were waiting for this room to be done, and we did have a professional photographer come in during the Press Association conference this weekend and take pictures of the facilities so we can go ahead and put those into the guide. We did start on a new trails map, and so currently our printed trails piece is a little outdated, so we're going to use some of our new images, and it's going to be mountain biking as well as suggested gravel rides as well for dirt road riders. And we just sent off, we ran out of our top 10 brochure that was hugely popular when we came in, and so we're doing a reprint of the top 10 brochure, made a couple adjustments to that one just to kind of dial it in. For grants, the Renaissance Village 3D video or 360 degree video is pretty much 2 weeks out. I just got a word from Todd that that's going to be done, and then we'll have that up. The horse race video is being edited. And then from a grant standpoint, we went ahead and submitted grants for golf course marketing, paying for all the seasonal Nevada Magazine ads, digital marketing campaigns specifically through YouTube so that we can come up with a new YouTube video since we were getting 50% click-through rate on that one. We're gonna spice that up and go for it again. And then a grant to continue our geofence and keyword retargeting campaign that we do pretty heavily. Updates, the Assessors Convention was in town as well as the Nevada Press Association, so those were our 2 big conventions in the last month. Those went really, really well, and in regards to commenting on the state of the facility, the customer service, people are just blown away, you know, it just seems commonplace to me that we would act this way, but apparently not everybody gives the same customer service or same facilities as we do. So again, I just want to commend my staff on that one. Silver State Classic Challenge was a great weekend for that. It just seemed like there was more cars in town. The parade went on longer. The car show, Broadbent Park, was packed, and everybody seemed like they had a good time for that one. Take It to the Lake went really well last weekend. They had 65 people that were signed up for that one. And Race the Rails was almost about identical. We had about 68 people that signed up for that one. 85% of them were for out of town. You know, and so those are the people from St. George, Cedar City, that are starting to bring friends up now, you know, in the 3rd year of that one. So Financially, that event broke even. The fundraising aspect of it raised a little bit of money for the Trails Alliance, but the overall economic impact was above and beyond with the amount of people that came from out of town. So what's coming up now? This weekend is the Astronomy Festival at Great Basin National Park. We've got the Nevada State Museum Conference that's in town from October 8th through 11th. The Haunted Ghost Train will be going on the 18th through the 26th. Pumpkin Chunkin' on the 19th. They're looking for volunteers for Pumpkin Chunkin', so if anybody knows a group that wants to help out with that. Then we'll go into the community Halloween party and trick or treat in the street on the 25th. Then December 2nd through 5th is Festival of Trees. The 6th is the tree auction, and the 7th is the holiday craft fair. Finally, we're going to be finishing our registration for the Global Tourism Summit in Las Vegas, November 12th through 14th. We're making our final registrations tomorrow before prices go up, so if anybody wants to go to that, you gotta let me know today or tomorrow morning. The disc golf baskets that we funded in partnership with the county and Boys and Girls Club have been installed in the park, so we'll be doing a ribbon cutting and community workshop with that probably next week. And then of course we're sitting in our new meeting room remodel, which is complete, and I just want to point out that this is, while small in comparison, is yet another art gallery that we have in town that's open midweek when some of our other places are closed. This was generously donated from the Garnet Mercantile and Art Bank. This is part of the Wally Cushing collection that's on display there, and we'll be exchanging this out quarterly, if not more, also working with other local artists to do exhibits and shows in here as well. So I figure if we invite people in here to creatively solve problems, we should be in a pretty creative environment to go ahead and do that. So that is all of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, excellent job.
Thanks.
Okay, item 3, old business. Item 1, discussion only, parking lot subcommittee. Brian is not with us, so we'll pass.
Brian's not with us, but we've got the plans, and as
Okay,
soon as Breck Brothers can fit us into their time, we'll get started on that project.
Okay, item 2, discussion only, White Pine Golf Course.
Madam Chair, I just would like to report that the Golf Course Advisory Board is really elated with the funding for, to help in part with the tractor purchase that has been ordered. So thank you so much to everyone.
Wonderful, outstanding. Item 3, discussion only, White Pine Trails update. Do you want to phone in for Brian?
You know what, we've had a busy summer up on Ward Mountain. Still just kind of waiting for SNPLMA. We'll be applying for an IMBA grant, which is a planning grant, and with talking with Great Basin Trails Alliance, we're going to be looking at directing them to the Garnet Hill, Squaw Peak, and kind of that backside of that mountain, that Lackawanna dirt road area right there. So seeing if we get that grant, that will pay for the planning process of the International Mountain Bike Association to come in and plan trails in that area for us. So that's just the update with that.
Okay, item 4, discussion only, Nevada Northern Railroad update. Mark Bassett is not here.
You guys have his report in your
We have it in the
packet.
packet, okay. Item 5, discussion only, White Pine Public Museum update.
Mural's been refurbished. We're looking to take all the additional signs down prior to the museum convention, and then we're still waiting. There's been a new sign proposed that we're waiting for approval of all the parties, but it'll be a nice historic looking kind of perpendicular sign coming off the building. So instead of having like 12 signs, we'll just have one really nice one.
All right, item number 6, discussion only, Main Street update.
The directional wayfinding signs have been installed. There's one that needs to be turned around, but that's on the list. The recommendation that was made of the lettering being too small, we did ask to see what the cost impact would be to increasing that lettering and stuff like that, so we're waiting for that impact to come back.
Worst case, how about mileage, footage? Worst case.
Yep,
And that's an easy fix.
yep,
That is good.
yep. And, but other than that, we're gonna be conducting an open house on one of the vacant buildings in the downtown, and just kind of inviting people who would be involved in either opening a business, remodeling, things like that, to come in and really see what's possible. It's essentially they're doing a wine mixer down there this Thursday from 6 to 8.
Okay, item 7, discussion only, board member reports. Ian, do you have anything? Caroline, do you have anything? Caroline,
No,
do you?
Madam Chair.
Okay, and I do not.
I just want to go ahead and add that we did receive a couple thank you cards. So Ag District 13 for the Ranch Rodeo sent a nice thank you for the support. The Horse Race Committee sent a very nice thank you for our support as well. The Assessors Convention dropped us a nice little thank you card. And then Travel Nevada was really cool. They sent a card just congratulating us on our summer and what a great year we've had and how excited they are at the future of Ely and White Pine County and just the excitement that's coming out of this part of the state from this area. They just wanted to acknowledge that they see it, they appreciate it, and they hope that we continue in this direction.
Outstanding. All right, item 4, public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to speak?
I'm waiting.
Want you to say something?
You have anything to say?
No, I'm waiting for answers. I got more here,
Oh,
but
you're
you
waiting.
haven't
Wait
answered
for answers,
the
okay.
ones previous.
So are we? fine?
Brown eyes, so.
Anyone else? All right, item 5, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you.
Might still be able to get my daughter to cheerlead on time.
Oh my gosh, you better run. She'll be upset.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting. The preceding program was sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV, Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada.